Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Donjo number 9175-619-RC. This is a 2 1/4 inch extended lip strike plate with 1/4 inch round corners and a dull nickel plated finish. So let's go over the part number. The 9175 is representative of the fact that this is a polybagged strike. So Donjo has a similar item to this with a different part number, except that it comes down on a, it's carded is what the packaging is called, because it's packaged against a piece of cardboard, so it's carded. The polybagged ones are certainly less expensive, although the strikes are identical. If you're looking for a lot of them, you're going to want to probably work with the polybagged as much as you can, because it's just, again, less expensive. Now, the 9175 infers specifically polybagging, but it also tells us that the strike is 2 1/4 inch tall. That is what we would call a standard D strike, and if you use your imagination, you can certainly see why we call it a D strike. Or a full lip strike. It's very commonly referred to as a full lip strike as well. The overall width of the item is about 2 1/4. That is really not the important part of this, because it's the lip length that makes this special. Lip length is defined from the center line of the screw holes to the edge of the lip. Now this is a 1 3/4 strike, so the fact that it's 2 1/4 overall wide, it's not really the important part. The question is, what's the lip length? This is 1 3/4. The translation is that this is 3/8 greater than standard, maybe a 1/2 inch greater than standard. Typical strikes are about 1 1/4 inch, 1 5/16, something in that range. This is about a 1/2 inch greater than a standard strike. So if your casing puts you in a position where you're about 3/8 or 1/2 inch thicker than standard, this is the strike for you. The 619, that means two things. That means that the material is made of brass, and that it has a satin nickel finish on it. Even though, while I don't know this for sure, I'm very tempted to say that this is a well, I'm tempted to say that this strike is solid stainless steel. And scratching the back of it does not reveal any brass. So I'm going to say that I'm going to go with this being a stainless steel strike. It's got a process on it that is making it look a lot more akin to satin nickel. And it's a very faithful satin nickel. I would not hesitate to use this or to consider it satin nickel. It's just specifically 619 means two things. It means satin nickel, but it infers specifically the base material. And in the 619 it would be brass. I'm telling you this is not brass. Although non-ferrous. It's obviously non-ferrous. That was a magnet. The RC refers to the fact that the corners are radius, top and bottom. Where will you see that? Residential applications, wood frames. If you're buying a radius corner strike, you are either identifying, oh, this one looks like this, it has those rounded corners, not the square corners, and you want to replace them with a radius corner strike because you are either unwilling, disinterested, or unaware of the fact that if you had a square corner strike, you would simply square the corners out to accommodate. But if the radius corner strike is available, that would be the way that you would go. How did it end up that way? Well, when the factory is manufacturing the door and frame, they're coming in with a router and just routing out for the strike. And they're not going back and squaring the corner. So the fact that it's a 1/4 inch radius, tells you that they had a 1/2 inch router, but that sort of thing. When you are mass producing doors and frames, that is a very common way to go, because the squaring of the corners is a hand process, generally. So radius corners. We discussed the 619, the RC. We've got the size and where you're going to bump into it. There's a link below this video to a document called Template, and that's very handy because it will show you all of the other constituent dimensions that we've not called out. In addition to that, it will call out the EL-175. That would be the part number for the strike if it was carded. Otherwise, the strike is identical. The upper right-hand area indicates that this is 18 gauge and 50 thousandths of an inch thick. That's typical. That's a typical thickness of what a kick plate would be, and not uncommon for a strike plate. Also tells you that it's available in 605 polished brass, 609 antique brass. Those finishes are for sure going to be on a solid brass-based material. 619, 620, 620's antique nickel, 630 stainless steel, and then DU, which is a dark bronze, I believe it to be a powder coat over a stainless base material. The name Danjo is synonymous with extended lip strikes, and if you're looking at extended lip strikes, you might need to consider wide throw hinges as well, of which we can help you with. There is a link below this video to the product catalog that will allow you to review all things extended lip strike and strike plate related from Danjo. A variety of heights, a variety of lip extensions, a variety of security strikes that are in there as well. The last section of the catalog indicates custom strike order form. They will make anything that you can draw, albeit they're not inexpensive, but there are times when you have a strike requirement that only a custom strike will solve. Danjo will happily manufacture that for you. Finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up the full line Danjo catalog, more appropriately all the subsections that are going to be there, because the full line catalog's a bit unwieldy as a download. Accessory hardware, bolts and latches, door controls, door pivots, protection plates, kick plates, armor plates, mop plates, door edges, door pulls, push and pull hardware, door stops, holders, bumpers, filler plates, hinges, ladder pulls, strike plates, as we've discussed, but there are two lines that they're most notorious for. What people most commonly think of Danjo for are their door reinforcing wraparound plates and their latch protectors. If you have any questions on the Danjo 9175-619-RC, extended lip strike, or any other Danjo product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.